Hey, everybody, and welcome to this edition of the Boon of Wireless podcast, coming to you always high above the streets of northern New Jersey at ANJ Media. Yes, New Jersey. We're in Dover, New Jersey, about 30 miles west of New York City. The only known crash between a train and a canal boat in the United States happened behind the Schwartz Building in Sussex Street in Dover in 1906. How about that? Also, the United States' first Boy Scout troop was formed in Dover in 1909, and it was known as Troop Number 1. Andrew, were you a Boy Scout?
No, John.
Okay. Girl Scout?
I've bought cookies before.
There you go. I am your host, Jon Horovitz, founder and president of Atrium Unlimited Consulting. Our guest today is a telecom veteran with over 20 years in the field, currently serving as Chief Strategy Officer at Telerite Holdings, Inc., where he's been a driving force for 15 years. Will Curry is in charge of sparking growth, and sparking he does, identifying investment opportunities and forging key partnerships, playing a role in adding H2O Wireless to the Telerite family. As a board member, he draws on his experience founding and running Life Wireless, now alongside Telerite's other brands, PureTalk, PureTalk Business, and H2O. His leadership has helped cement Telerite as a standout in the industry. Before his current role, he sharpened his strategic skills as president of Life Wireless, steering it towards success under the Telerite umbrella. Will is based in Aitkin, South Carolina, and he's passionate about advancing telecom innovation. He enjoys golf, spending time with his dogs, and relaxing on the river in West Virginia with his wife. Please join me in welcoming to the broadcast, Will Curry. Will, welcome.
Hey, John. Great to be here.
Good to have you. It's nice to finally get together with you and talk a little bit about the business in wireless. How are things in South Carolina? We already into the spring weather down there?
It's 70s all week this week, John. So I think it's here to stay. We got, there's a little golf tournament across the river for me that's here within a month. So excited about that. It's a good time down here in the South. But we got folks up in New Jersey as well.
Yes, you do. Yes, I know them
well.
well.
In Teaneck, we got our H2O folks up there. So hopefully they're getting to see some spring. We got a trip planned here in the next month or so to get up there. So
very good. We'll see. We'll roll the carpet up. So, Will, tell us a little bit about Telerite.
We've been in the wireless space 23 plus years, but really our roots are in telecom. Our CEO is a longtime telecom investor and entrepreneur, innovator. We've been in one-plus offerings. We've done local and long distance for years. And then as that business shifted into the 90s, early 2000s, we got connected with our carrier partner that we're still on today as that all of our traffic runs on. And we've been with them 23 plus years. And, there's been some highs and lows in that, but we've had some staying power over the years that's helped us gain scale and momentum. And, an MVNO-based business, you got to have scale to be able to compete at the end of the day. So things are good here at Telerite.
Along with having scale, I always preach you have to have a differentiator. Why would I leave my current provider to come with you or anybody? So I understand you have three business units: PureTalk, H2O Wireless, and Life Wireless. Can you take us through what makes each brand unique?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, so fundamentally, we didn't really set out to build this portfolio of brands, but we got an opportunity in 2019 to acquire H2O Wireless from KDDI of Japan. That was a great move for us. It helped that scale portion that I was talking about. But that complemented our current offerings, our other brands very nicely. We had the Lifeline, Life Wireless business that focused for years on a little bit on the lower economic scale, and then H2O complemented nicely because it was a very traditional prepaid brand that was very cultural centric. With international long distance was a big difference maker for us in the market years ago when H2O was really hot on the scene. And then PureTalk being an online e-commerce only, but going towards more of a hybrid, not really prepaid product. We call it a premium alternative to the big three. And we offer a lot of services and support that mimic or even outperform the big three. And that's where we've been able to set ourselves apart through, our branding.
If my memory serves me correct, H2O was offering free calling to certain countries.
Yeah, we've got unlimited calling to like 70 countries is what really kicked things off. If you go back, the founders of H2O were in the international long distance business, similar to where we were in the local and One Plus business, and saw the transition to wireless. They saw the original founders of H2O, Locust Telecom. They saw the writing on the wall of their international long distance business, and they got into wireless. And one of the reasons our dealer network on H2O is so unique and really would be hard to replicate. We go back to the community corner store model where we've got the best locations dating back 20, 25 years into prepaid. And because what the original folks at H2O were able to do was inject H2O Wireless into their already massive network of dealers.
I've heard through the grapevine your subscriber count, which obviously we're not going to talk about. And if it's anywhere near where I've been told, that's very impressive, what you guys have been able to do with H2O.
We're privately held. We worry about certain key metrics. We want to have a healthy, strong business. We run debt free. We invest our own money into opportunities. And while we don't necessarily chase the crazy growth that H2O can be very capable of and has done in the past, what we focus on are lower churn, higher quality customers that drive the enterprise value of a company.
Churn is one of the key issues in the prepaid business. Yeah. And I want to ask you, we know we're in a very competitive business. Everybody has at least one phone, probably two or three, with IoT, service lines. It's a very competitive business, and new MVNOs are arriving every day. We say that for every one that shuts down, two more open up. You're in a very competitive business with what we call the SIM-only type of operators. What do you see as the biggest threat to your business? How do you keep H2O healthy in the next 3 to 5 years?
Well, if you look at the landscape, John, and you know as good as anyone, our primary competitors in the dealer space, in the SIM-only independent dealer channel, a majority of those competitors are carrier-owned today, and it's very tough. It's impossible, basically, for an MVNO to mimic plans exactly like a carrier-owned MVNO would have. I mean, they have carrier economics. You can't beat that. So, there's certain things we have to do to be able to outmaneuver and outwit at times the competition. With H2O, a lot of it is we have a very strong cemented legacy business. We don't take them for granted. We visit those dealers. We've got some new stuff coming out on April 1st to enhance some packages and some spiff and some other things in that nature. But you've got to stay nimble. And one of the good things about competing against a carrier MVNO and carrier owned is they're not generally known for being nimble. So we got to outmaneuver, outwit, and quite frankly, sometimes just outwork. Now, on the flip side of that, if you go look at our PureTalk brand, we operate in a space there that the big three really don't advertise in. We've got a exclusive channel, if you will, in the conservative media world that we push PureTalk into, and from whether that be from the top radio shows in the country to the top podcasts in the country to where we advertise on television. A lot of the big three won't operate there. So it's an opportunity for us where it's a demo that we've targeted, but at the same time, the brand values and the mission that we pursue relates very, very well to our target customer. And what's funny in the MVNO space, you talk about competitors and people coming in, and they think that you can just target a demo. I'm going to target this ethnic group, or I'm going to target this. And look, at 30,000 feet, that's a good idea, but you got to drill down into that. And for example, on PureTalk, we have a customer avatar. His name is Hank. He's from West Texas. He drives an F-150. He shops at Duluth Trading and Bass Pro Shops. You've got to go down to the granular level and find your true audience. And in that sense, we do very well servicing Hank, where we offer not only value. We save the average family of four $800 to $1,000 a year when they switch to PureTalk. So we offer value, but then we offer values that align with Hank, and that is our CEO is a Army veteran. My parents are Air Force veterans. We do a lot for the veteran community. We create U.S. jobs. All of the customer service on PureTalk is U.S. based. All of your data, all of the development work, everything that we do is U.S. based and creates U.S. jobs. And that, with the value, our aligned values, speak very well to an audience that is quite large in the U.S.
Okay. So PureTalk is 100% e-commerce, right?
It is.
Yeah. Why did you make the decision to forego the retail and dealer channels with this brand? Why did you say, okay, we've got H2O? What was the thought process, sir?
Our history in prepaid and various products, we knew the dealer network very, very well. Even before we acquired H2O, we knew about the dealer network, and we used agents to push products. And really, you go back to the innovation and forward thinking of our CEO and CTO, years ago, saying, "Hey, look, e-commerce is going to be a thing," and we were probably a little early in the market. It stuttered for a while. And it didn't really take off. We got some really strong organic growth and had really good customers, and until we really found a message that aligned with our target customer, we didn't really see meaningful growth in PureTalk. And what I mean by that is, John, we had $5 plans at one point, $10 plans, and just because you put the best plan out there, it's if a tree falls in the woods and no one's there to hear it, did it make a noise? It's the kind of thing. It's like, you've got to get eyeballs on your product. You got to get eyeballs on your brand. And really, you talk about the competitive nature of the MVNO space. Yeah, there's a lot of folks coming in, but there's also a lot of folks that, don't have the capital it takes to really grow to scale. If you want to back into what it takes to get to 1 million subs on any MVNO, when you calculate churn, acquisition cost, time to market, it's immensely expensive.
My consulting company, Atrium Unlimited, I talk about this all the time. We get calls from people that want to enter the space, and they really don't have a differentiator, or they think they're going to compete on price. And we talk about, I want to revisit what you said a few moments ago about the MVNOs now being owned by the carriers. I mean, my friend Peter Adderton, who I give too much press to, by the way, Peter, on this platform, very vocal about the carriers buying these brands. So now you've got owned by the carrier. Obviously, you have Metro, Boost, Cricket, recently Ultra, and Mint. But a lot of these people think that want to get into the business. They want the Ryan Reynolds effect. They think that, okay, I'm going to put a Mint Mobile out there. I'm going to hire somebody famous to talk about it. And you've seen a lot of MVNOs come out with a big name, and you don't hear about them anymore. So yeah, what you're saying is right on target. That you've got to have the core. You got to believe who your customer is, and not throw that big net out. That's my philosophy.
For H2O, for example, we talk about maybe trying to get a little bit more aggressive online or other channels. And what happens there is I'm now competing against, the Crickets, the Metros, and now you're bidding against words, or you're looking for customers in a sea that has the biggest nets possible. I agree with Peter totally when it comes to, competing against carrier economics is very difficult. And there's I don't know that I go so far as to call for regulation, but the point is not lost, as that, you got to know who you're up against. The entrepreneur in me, the investor, the shareholder, I don't want the government to ever say I can't sell something I've worked hard for, to not to be able to extract value from it for myself or my other shareholders. So, we may differ a little bit there, but the point is still, it's not lost that, if you come into the space, think you're going to compete with toe-to-toe every day for the same customer that a carrier MVNO wants, you're going to be, you're probably going to be upset. I'm not saying you can't succeed and there's not ways to succeed. It's just, you got to recognize the battle in front of you.
You said once people understand the PureTalk message, what's that message? I hate the 30-second elevator pitch, but what is the PureTalk message?
Really, it comes down to Americana. It's like love of country. We support veterans, things that really no one could complain with, but really middle America, if you will, it resonates with, folks that fly an American flag on the front of their house. Our customers index heavily over 2x more likely to have an immediate family member is in the military. For example, that's a PureTalk trait. And so we speak to that not only because it's a good message and it's a good marketing. We believe that as well. I mean, again, going back to being veteran led and some of the things we do for veterans, we started a couple of years ago a roundup campaign at checkout. And John, we call it Roundup for Veterans. We've raised hundreds of thousands of dollars for our partner called America Warriors Partnership. We've got a Medal of Honor recipient as a brand ambassador. And at checkout, customers can round up their bill and give us the change, and we pass it 100% to AWP. And throughout the year, we give additional money to AWP, and we've raised hundreds of thousands of dollars. And I'll tell you a crazy story is the number one complaint we got from the call center when we released this is customers want to give more than 50 cents.
Yeah.
They want to give more, if on average it's about 50 cents a person that participates in it. And we've got tens of thousands of people each month because our business is a recurring business model. So when someone says to round up every month, now I'm basically going to have that customer for a very long time, given PureTalk's churn is phenomenally low in the industry. When someone signs up for that, that's a long-term annuity for that charity. And those all compound. So when Hurricane Helene came through, we did kind of a flash fundraiser saying, hey, we got some veterans in need. I mean, we raised $20,000 in 3 days from customers just going in and giving more money than rounding up. And that speaks volumes to the makeup of the PureTalk customer base, love of country, want to support veterans, first responders, those type of things. We don't really pick up a mantle of a political issue more so than, hey, we love America and we want to help our veterans, and and we advertise in channels where there's a high indexing of those listeners.
We're going to put up the website for AWP. Can customers or viewers, go there and make a donation?
They can. You can go to AWP's website, and it'll be there's a donate link, and then also I believe on PureTalk.com we might have a little bit about what we do there as well.
Congratulations on that. That's a wonderful story to tell. Let's talk about Life Wireless for a little bit. Now, a lot of people think, because of the press, I think, that the Lifeline program died an inglorious death. You and I discussed this, and you said, no, it did not. What's the status right now with Lifeline?
Well, okay, so really it goes back to the pandemic. There was the EBB program, which was an emergency broadband benefit. Then that transitioned to what was called ACP, which is Affordable Connectivity Program. And then, but really, prior to all that, going back to 1985, was the Lifeline industry, which was a very highly rated, which is, and it still exists today. It's administered by the FCC. It's a highly regulated, extreme barriers of entry to get in. You have to go to individual states and get certified. The audit regime, the oversight is beyond belief.
Well, that's because I think we all know that there was a lot of fraud.
Absolutely. It's you're taking government dollars. You have to be responsible and a good steward of those dollars for sure. So ACP did die in May. Funding was depleted, and all of that industry went away because you had a lot of, I don't want to say fly by nights, but you had a lot of people just enter an MVNO business for the sole purpose of being an ACP provider. You could get approved way too easy without enough oversight. Easy come, easy go. They came in easy and they came in, and they're all now gone. Now, our Lifeline business over the years has been great for us to acquire scale. We can do volume there. It helps with our carrier arrangements. But today, it's a very, very small piece of our business. We have, PureTalk and H2O are our majority line share. What we've invested 15 years of our lives in a lot of capital and equity to maintain our licenses and our registrations and all the things you need to be a Lifeline provider. So we maintain it. We provide a service, but it's by no means the driving force at Telerite. That'd be PureTalk and H2O helping lead that charge.
So what is the Lifeline program now? You're
required to give 4.5 gigs. We give unlimited talk and text with 4.5 gigs, and you get 9.25 from the U.S. government as a reimbursement. There's some states out there that have some money. California and Oklahoma are very popular. We don't particularly play in those. We just got to have it there for those people in need. We've got some employees that push the product for us, but mainly it's just there, and we have a strong legacy based on that business too. So we have folks that have been with us a decade on that brand. So, but again, it's not our focus. And there's by no means you could start a new Lifeline provider. That only because we have our other brands can we really afford to participate in that space.
Okay, so it's still part of your business, but it's something that's just maintaining, not growing. Okay.
We've seen a little bit of growth because of some of the exits that's happened in the market. I mean, because a lot of ACP customers qualified for Lifeline and vice versa. And so when some of those carriers left the space, a lot of those customers qualified for Lifeline and they were looking for a home. To our enterprise value, it's not a core concept.
We're coming up on a year, as you said, May, when the funding dried up, with the current administration, without getting political at all, because this is a non-political show. Do you hold out any hope that the ACP program in some form may come back?
My opinion is it doesn't come back under its previous form. There's some things going on with the Lifeline business specifically. There's some oral arguments that are about to happen. I believe it's in front of the Fifth Court in D.C. about is the FCC and USAC and the FCC surcharge, is all that even legal to have? That's being challenged in court. If it is found that it is, then I would probably see more of I would say the opportunity would be for reform of the Lifeline program in the way of maybe a higher subsidy, but with the oversight of the Lifeline program that the ACP program was lacking.
Let's go back to your two key brands. Somebody watches this or sees your advertising and wants to sign up with PureTalk. How do they do that?
We take a significant number of orders online at PureTalk.com. Believe it or not, I would say over 50% of our orders come from people calling in toll free. Our customers our customers like to talk to someone. Again, that's where we have a great center out in the Southwest that takes great care of us. They're great.
I know them well. I know them very well.
H2O. We've got H2OWireless.com, but also our dealer network. And you can go on there and find a dealer on the store locator, and you can go to the nearest location. And one of our great dealers can take care of you, or you can place an order online.
And I want to become an H2O dealer. How do I do that?
Same thing. Go to the website. There's a dealer.
There it is right there. There's the website right on the screen. Okay.
Click you're interested, and then generally what we do, we've got several great master agent partners that we've had for a very long time, and what we normally do is push those leads to our master dealers, and they'll put them in their network and support the dealer.
Well, that's all great stuff, especially what you're doing with the veterans. I know other people support other veteran organizations as well, and the most we can do for those folks that gave so much. Congratulations to you and your company.
Thank you. Proud to do it.
Good stuff about H2O. Good stuff about PureTalk. And and in closing, anything else you'd like to share with the viewers? Or
hey, look, we got a positive outlook on the future of the industry. We think there's a lot of opportunity. And again, thanks for having me today, John, to come and riff about it for a while. And happy to come back anytime, brother.
Anytime. You're welcome. And again, we have 3 airports here in New York. They're open, New York, New Jersey. They're open 24 hours. And I know you're coming up here to Jersey, and we'll get together and continue our dialogue. So I want to thank Will Curry from Telerite for coming on and sharing his views and talking about the success of 2 very popular brands, H2O Wireless and PureTalk. Will, thanks. We'll see you soon. And that is going to wrap up another edition of the Boon of Wireless podcast. We'll see you next time.